Washington, D.C.
Agreeing to disagree. Presidents Clinton and Putin make progress on some issues, but not on missile defense. A new terror report calls for tough preemptive measures within the United States. New treatments mean new hope for chronic pain sufferers. And a final gathering for the heroes of Dunkirk.
This is the CBS Evening News with John Roberts.
Good evening. President Clinton and his Russian counterpart took steps today to make the world a safer place. But they also disagree on a key issue that critics contend could launch another arms race. This first ever summit between Mr. Clinton and Vladimir Putin signaled a positive future for U.S.-Russian relations. And as Bill Plant reports, it answered many questions about the new Russian president.
Presidents Clinton and Putin praised each other for openness and candor and agreed to keep talking. But they made little progress on the question of new U.S. missile defenses. Mr. Clinton must decide whether or not to deploy a missile shield later this year.
I do not believe the decision before me is a threat to strategic stability and mutual deterrence. The Russian side disagrees.
Administration officials put a positive spin on the talks, noting that Russia agreed for the first time that terrorist nations with missiles are a threat, and they conceded that the 1972 ABM treaty can be amended. Putin agreed that there was common ground for an eventual accord, but not yet.
We're against having a cure which is worse than the disease.
The two leaders did sign agreements on destroying 34 tons each of weapons-grade plutonium and on a joint center to monitor each other's missile launches. But only the president mentioned Russia's war in Chechnya.
A policy that causes so many civilian casualties without a political solution ultimately cannot succeed.
U.S. officials called Putin a good politician, though not a warm personality. The president called his counterpart fully capable of building a strong, prosperous Russia. And Putin vowed that there would be no going back in Russia's relationship with the U.S.
And as far as Russia's concerned, it will never choose to start once again confrontation. Never.
Putin also displayed his political skills by volunteering that Russia is aware there's a presidential campaign going on in the U.S. No matter who gets to be president, Putin said, we're willing to go forward. Bill Plant, CBS News, with the president in Moscow.
President Clinton told Russians today that no one in modern history in the United States has had more negative media coverage than he's had. Still, despite the, quote, painful treatment he says he's been subjected to, Mr. Clinton told a Moscow radio audience that he still favors a strong and free press. David Hawkins reports that is a concept Russia has yet to fully embrace.
We think that democracy is more stable and people are more free when the press is free.
Even if something gets lost in translation,
This is something that has to be debated and fought for.
President Clinton's appearance on a Moscow radio station sent a clear signal. Echo of Moscow is owned by Media Most, Russia's largest independent media company. Its television network, radio stations, and newspapers are all outspoken critics of President Vladimir Putin. NTV, the company's flagship, broadcasts exposés of government corruption. Its coverage of the Chechen War is often at odds with official propaganda. And the network's most popular program always pokes fun at the country's politicians. That's made them a target. Last month, just 4 days after President Putin was sworn in, masked gunmen raided Media Most corporate headquarters. Yevgeny Kiselyov, NTV's top news anchor, says the Kremlin was delivering a message.
I think the message is very simple. You have to serve us or die.
The government says the raid was conducted by the tax police. Kiselyov claims it was ordered from the top.
They were just dressed up as tax police, but in fact they were members of anti-terrorist squads belonging to Federal Security Service, FSB, former KGB.
The question is from Sergei in Perm.
Kiselyov welcomes President Clinton's symbolic show of support, but doubts it will do much to change President Putin's old-school attitudes.
I'm afraid that very soon a time may come when they are going to imprison journalists.
The Kremlin crackdown on Russia's free press isn't yet as severe as the communist complete intolerance of dissent. But old habits die hard and just might be making a comeback. David Hawkins, CBS News, Moscow.
In an exclusive report tonight, the CBS News broadcast 60 Minutes says there is new evidence that the bombing of Pan Am 103 may not be the responsibility of Libya. 2 Libyans are on trial, but 60 Minutes has interviewed an Iranian intelligence officer who defected and claims Iran masterminded the attack. A congressional commission will recommend tomorrow that the United States take more active steps to protect American targets against terrorism. But as Lee Cowan reports, some of the proposals may run afoul of other protections afforded Americans by the Constitution.
Out of the rubble of 2 U.S. embassies came one important lesson. For Americans, terrorism is the new face of war. And, says a blunt report from the National Commission on Terrorism, the White House should now intensify the fight against it, including for the first time the option of using the U.S. military in a leadership role.
We're not talking about martial law. We're simply talking about planning for an event which we hope never happens, where the president would want to call on the military's very broad skills.
That's just one recommendation in a controversial report due out tomorrow. Others include loosening restrictions on CIA and FBI recruitment of criminal informants, monitoring the movements of all foreign college students, and making possession of poison biological agents a federal crime. One recommendation urges the United States to stop cooperating with Iran until it fully cooperates in investigating the 1996 Khobar Towers bombing that killed 19 American servicemen.
The Commission believes that there's a possibility that the administration's conciliatory gestures towards Iran will be misinterpreted in Iran and by our allies as a weakening of our fight against terrorism.
In fact, tonight, 60 Minutes will report that an Iranian defector admitted to CBS that Iran was responsible for the Khobar Towers bombing.
It was very clear, he made that very clear on more occasions than one, that he was the person who oversaw and coordinated these activities.
Experts warn, however, that as terrorists become more advanced, so must the tactics to fight them. But the Commission's report has already raised questions among civil libertarian groups who say that it takes the fight against terrorism too far. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Washington.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, where the U.S. ranks in life expectancy compared with other countries. Also, unusual steps that pain sufferers will take to find relief. And a unique approach to getting families out to the suburbs.
You're an investor. Would a cell phone company push your buttons? Janus dove into their books, questioned their projections, called up their customers, even tracked down the company that sells them their microchips to make sure there were no kinks in their supply line. That's how Janus decides if a stock is a smart call. Don't put your money on hold. Get there. Janus Mutual Funds.
They're calling you. The places you want to be. The things you want to do. But you're not going to get there until you finish this stuff. That's why there's True Value. We get you in and out fast with just what you need for the job. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
I am looking for a house, for a duplex.
For a Cape Cod. I'm looking for a ranch. A colonial. I am looking for
I am looking for a place
on the coast.
In the mountains.
With a fenced yard.
Close to the park. Where I can
be myself.
Everybody's looking for something different in a home. Now there's only one place they have to look. ColdwellBanker.com.
I am looking for a castle.
Right smack in the heart of God's country.
ColdwellBanker.com. When you need an address, try ours.
Love at first sight. What's that based on? Have you ever looked at someone and said, check her out, she looks loyal? Or, whoa, look at the morals on that guy. No, love at first sight is based on something else. Sight.
I see you, baby. Take it in, baby.
The 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, nicely equipped at 17.7. You'll even love what's on the inside.
The United States finishes surprisingly low in a new ranking of life expectancy released tonight by the World Health Organization. Japan Japan is #1 with a life expectancy of 74.5 years of good health without disease or disabilities. Australia ranks #2, while European countries fill up the remainder of the top 10. The U.S. ranks 24th at an even 70 years due to relatively high rates of lung cancer, heart disease, and violence. In this evening's Health Watch, the painstaking effort researchers are making to help people manage chronic pain. As John Blackstone tells us, for sufferers, relief can't come a moment too soon.
Everyone in this room is searching for something to stop their pain.
And then go ahead and inhale and lift the chin.
Ready to try anything, Aurelia Beacom is now trying yoga. It's hard for others, she says, to appreciate her desperation.
It works on your nerves. It makes you irritable. It makes you question, how am I going to live?
An estimated 80% of pain sufferers don't get the relief they could. Doctors often don't ask the right questions, or sometimes don't even listen to the answers.
Your friends and neighbors and spouses and loved ones can't see your pain. They can't relate to it, and they almost always think you're a crock.
Researchers like Dr. Alan Basbaum are making extraordinary breakthroughs in treating pain, going after it at the level of individual molecules to see how they change when someone hurts.
It's really going to make a dramatic impact on a huge medical problem in this country.
One unusual approach doctors are taking could be described as fighting fire with fire. They're taking the same chemical that makes chili peppers hot to fight one form of chronic pain.
Carol, how are you feeling?
At her San Francisco pain clinic, Dr. Wendy Robbins is using the chili derivative to treat patients like Carol Baker, who have a rare and debilitating form of pain.
Red, hot, burning feet that become very swollen and essentially useless.
The one thing that helped was putting my feet in ice water.
But after her first treatment with the chili pepper ointment, Carol saw a huge improvement. She could go all day without ice.
In the evenings, I really do need ice. But after this second treatment, I may not need that.
Millions of Americans may also have their fingers crossed that researchers will soon find the answer to their pain as well. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
Severe storms have contributed to at least 3 deaths in northern Texas. Up to 15 inches of rain have fallen in the Fort Worth area, flooding roads and forcing some residents to head for emergency shelters. More rain is expected tonight. And there is more to come on tonight's CBS Evening News. Changes for at least some women in a changing Iran. And later, out of the rubble of old housing programs, a new approach.
Sis, I snooped in your medicine cabinet. So, you switched to X-Lax.
Yeah, Correctol works with an artificial chemical. X-Lax works with natural senna.
Very effectively, too.
You tried it.
Today's gentle X-Lax with natural vegetable senna. 4 out of 5 users agree it's dependable overnight.
X-Lax, what a find.
What a snoop.
Today's X-Lax, good morning, guaranteed. And for relief with the added comfort of a softener, try X-Lax Gentle Strength.
I am looking for a house, for a duplex.
For a Cape Cod.
I'm looking for a ranch.
A colonial. I am looking for
I am looking for a place
on the coast.
in the mountains.
With a fenced yard.
Close to the park. Where I can
be myself.
Everybody's looking for something different in a home. Now there's only one place they have to look. ColdwellBanker.com.
I am looking for a castle.
Right smack in the heart of God's country.
ColdwellBanker.com. When you need an address, try ours.
Let's be honest. There's really no such thing as a gracious winner. You might say things like nice game or shake your opponent's hand. But no matter how humble you are on the outside, deep down on the inside, you're saying, I'm better than you are. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Better than Accord or Camry. Boy, we just love saying that.
Did you know that mosquitoes are attracted to dark clothing? Did you know that a poison ivy rash can appear just minutes after contact? That's why there's Cortisone 10 Plus with vitamins A and E plus aloe. Among these, it's the only one with the medicine doctors recommend most to stop itch and help heal. Trust the power of Cortisone 10 Plus. What are you itching for?
Also, try Cortisone 10 Quick Shot Spray. No itch relief goes on faster.
He says he was an Iranian terrorist. At his country, not Libya, ordered the bombing of Pan Am 103. 60 Minutes, tonight. Wake up to what's happening in June. It's jam-packed with weddings. That's why our special series on gift giving is a must. This week on The Early Show with Bryant Gumbel and Jane Clayson.
A powerful underwater earthquake struck off Indonesia tonight, killing at least 6 people. The U.S. Geological Survey says the quake had a magnitude of 7.9. There are reports of widespread damage. The first global conference on women's equality since Beijing 5 years ago opens tomorrow at the United Nations. Iran is one country said to be resisting change. Tom Fenton tells us Iranian women measure progress in tiny steps.
For 2 decades, the head-to-foot black chador has been the grim image of Iranian women. Publicly, no one will condemn it.
It's a religion. We cannot change it.
But there are signs that young women are pushing the envelope.
In Tehran, we go to some parties, and but we are always afraid of police. If they know that we go to the party with boys and girls, many boys and girls, they come to that house and arrest, and
This feisty young woman talked to us frankly about boyfriends and about having fun despite stifling restrictions.
Yes, we are in fear that, maybe some police come to us and see us and arrest us. But, youth in Iran, boys and girls, they do everything.
They just...
Yes, they just do it.
But in public, just doing it means showing a fringe of hair, a glimpse of blue jeans, sneakers, or a glimmer of color in a headscarf. But the fact is, most of the time, women have to toe the line. They know someone is always watching. Surprisingly, despite all the restrictions, they go to universities, can hold public office, and have the right to vote. But they have to use the back door to the polling station. Women were the driving force behind the Islamic Revolution 21 years ago, and they are now a driving force to liberalize Iran. But ironically, in the process of reform, they have been sidelined. Most Iranian women seem to agree that the dress code is the least of their problems.
In our country, we have so many things more important than a scarf.
For example, they need their husband's permission to travel or work. Men can divorce them at will. And adultery by women is punishable by stoning to death. In the meantime, like this young woman, they smile and pretend things are okay.
I'm satisfied with my life. I have to.
For now, Iranian women are settling for evolution rather than revolution. Tom Fenton, CBS News, Tehran.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, how much help should the government give to families looking for better homes? And later, across the English Channel and 60 years, reliving the miracle of Dunkirk.
Happy family, happy browsing, find everything housing. Everything housing. Caldwell Banker. Online. Happy family, happy browsing, find everything housing. Happy family, happy browsing, find everything housing. CaldwellBanker.com. Online.
CaldwellBanker.com. Online. Love at first sight. What's that based on? Have you ever looked at someone and said, check her out, she looks loyal? Or, whoa, look at the morals on that guy. No, love at first sight is based on something else. Sight.
I see you, baby. Take it in, baby.
The 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, nicely equipped at 17.7. You'll even love what's on the inside.
We are healthy, strong, funny, energetic, even sexy. We take good care of ourselves, and we drink Ensure when we can eat nutritious foods like these. Ensure provides essential vitamins and minerals you find in vegetables, calcium like in milk, and protein like in fish. Ensure is a source of complete balanced nutrition and energy, so we can get the most out of life. Drink Ensure, and drink to your health.
Only one can be the best. To get there takes strength,
speed, and endurance.
One athlete's foot medicine has it all. Lamisil AT.
Strength.
Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. These take 4 weeks of treatment. Lamisil AT cures it with just one. 3 months later, you're still athlete's foot free.
Game over.
The official athlete's foot treatment of the NBA, Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
There's nothing unusual about American families moving from the city to the suburbs as soon as they can. But with some of the moves these days, there comes the extra baggage of controversy. That's tonight's Sunday cover. Should some families on the move get government help?
Always said that I would move in my house with the white picket fence. I used to ride by years ago and said, one day I'm going to move in there.
Shirley Hudnall now lives in that neighborhood she used to dream about, an apartment in a middle-class section of suburban Baltimore. It's a world away from the mean streets of her old home.
It's a difference. Quite a difference.
For 7 years, she and her son Bryant lived in public housing in Baltimore's inner city.
Just groups of people just milling around, just buying drugs. During the night, back over in the alley down there would be gunfire.
They were trapped in that neighborhood by health problems that prevented Shirley from getting a job. So when the Department of Housing and Urban Development offered her a slot in a test program called Moving to Opportunity, she jumped at it.
It was most important for my son. I wanted a better life for him.
HUD has signed up nearly 2,000 poor families in 5 different cities. The idea is to help them make a successful move to a better neighborhood. Nonprofit organizations provide counseling, training people for a life outside the project, even teaching them basic housekeeping skills. HUD wants to tear down the old approach to public housing, which concentrated poor families in one area. High-rise projects are being replaced by mixed-income homes. By seeding disadvantaged people in prosperous neighborhoods, HUD hopes to immerse them in an environment of opportunity and break the cycle of poverty.
I think there's no doubt that this is the right direction that we have to move in. We tried the alternative. It does not work. You can't have high concentrations of poverty and expect a good outcome.
They're going to come in and destroy places and destroy things.
The program provoked outrage when it was proposed in 1994. Some residents of the Baltimore suburbs complained that low-income city families were being dumped on them. Harvard professor Howard Husick calls the HUD program government intrusion of the worst kind.
He says, well, we think some people ought to live here because it would be good for them or good for other people to have them as neighbors. That is social engineering.
Other critics complain that moving to opportunity helps only a select few, and that the program's $70 million would be better spent fixing the problems of the inner city, such as crime and education. But for the participants, the benefits are obvious. Most say they feel safer, have seen improvements in their children's behavior, and a decrease in urban-related ailments like asthma.
You hear the birds? Come in.
Shirley Hudnall calls it the opportunity of a lifetime, to play with her grandson in the safety of her backyard and dream of doing even better.
My next dream is to move into a home. And my desire is to start my own business. I'm not giving up my dreams and my goals because God has just been truly good to me.
The move to the suburbs isn't for everyone, though. Some complain of isolation, and a small percentage of participants have dropped out. But for most people, the new address quite literally means a new lease on life.
Who's asking about Viagra? Someone you might expect, and also someone that maybe you wouldn't. In fact, you may be surprised at who's talking to their doctors about Viagra. So ask your doctor if a free trial of Viagra is right for you. Who's asking about Viagra? Maybe it should be you.
You know, you can clean your dentures faster than you can shower, because Polidin 5-Minute cleans even the worst stains in just 5 minutes. So, why keep your dentures out a minute longer than you have to when there's Polidin 5 minutes.
The Batmobile is jet-powered, bulletproof, fireproof, and reaches speeds over 300 miles per hour. Could we possibly improve on it? Yes.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
It's all the help you'll need on the road. Win a trip to Warner Brothers Studios in L.A. Play the Batman Challenge at www.onstar.com.
If someone in your family's had a heart attack, you know it can tear your family apart. But there's something you can do to help prevent heart attacks. There's Ecotrin. Ecotrin is safety-coated aspirin. Taken regularly, it can help keep your blood from clotting, to keep it flowing. No wonder cardiologists now recommend Ecotrin more than any other brand. Aspirin is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor first. Ecotrin, helping your heart beat the odds.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas-X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Nothing I've seen works faster. Gas-X beats the bloat fast.
Robert's on a mission to save your hearing. But would you believe that restaurants are where some of the damage is being done?
The noise levels were higher than the permissible noise levels set forth by the government.
That's not good. Why are restaurants so noisy, and can anything be done? Listen up Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Aging British veterans of World War II's dramatic 1940 Dunkirk evacuation had their grand finale today. Richard Roth tells us they commemorated the daring rescue that saved Britain from disaster.
From beneath the cliffs of Dover across the English Channel to France, it was a reenactment of naval history, a flotilla of the ordinary. Tugboats and fishing boats and small pleasure craft sailed across the channel as they had 60 years ago, when they helped turn a military defeat into what Britain's wartime leader Winston Churchill called a miracle of deliverance, the rescue of 340,000 British and French troops stranded at Dunkirk.
I've never forgotten the sight of the sandy white beach, and there were the 400,000 soldiers, all lined up in rows, sitting or walking.
Pushed to the French beach and pinned down by Hitler's army, the troops faced death or capture. Britain's Navy couldn't navigate the shallow waters along the shore, but the fleet of little boats could and did for 10 days under German fire, the war's most dramatic rescue. Today, Prince Charles saluted the survivors. After 60 years, the Dunkirk Veterans Association, growing older and smaller, said this anniversary would be the last.
And I'm very glad to see how you intend that the DVA should go out with a bang rather than a whimper. That is very much the Dunkirk spirit.
The rescue celebrated today is called a miracle of ingenuity, an improvised armada that helped the Allies win the war. But 60 years ago, someone said, it was all just guesswork, blessed by God. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
And that's the CBS Evening News, later on CBS 60 Minutes. I'm John Roberts. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the Internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
Experience you can trust. CBS News.
Straight ahead on 9 Eyewitness News, another manhole explosion in D.C. Now power is out in the heart of Georgetown. We'll have a live report. We talked to Deion Sanders, who was in town for the weekend, about his chances of becoming a Redskin. Plus, 5 alarms and millions of dollars in damage done to several apartments in Northern Virginia. We've got the pictures.
And I'm Steve Rude outside Broadcast House. A beautiful weekend comes to an end, and it looks like we'll start the work week off with a little bit of rain. All of your local zone forecast and the extended 7-day outlook. 9 Eyewitness News is next.
It's your waiting room, your quiet zone, your way home. Keep it cool. Bring your car to the new Midas and let a pro inspect your air conditioning system. Because it's hot out there, Now just $19.99. Cool.
'Cause that's how your life goes.
We're a new way to keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
DeWalt's convertible system, the latest thing in cordless. 24 volts, never out of juice. The Delta 10-inch compound miter saw cuts angles on top of angles. I'll see you on Father's Day. Milwaukee's latest. This thing could cut a house down. I love these tools.
So where do you find them? At Lowe's, the moment they're available and at a guaranteed low price. Why buy anywhere else? Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Say goodbye to Chi-Chi's old menu. And say hello to the 50 great-tasting new recipes on our incredible new menu. Just wait till you taste our great new food.
WUSA-TV, Washington, D.C. Where local news comes first. This is 9 Eyewitness News at 6:30.
Two big local stories tonight. Another manhole cover in Georgetown blows its top and pulls the plug on businesses during this busy Sunday. And Deion Sanders is in D.C. The big question, will Sanders sign with the Skins? Thank you for joining us. I'm Jennifer Ryan. Bruce Johnson has the day off. More on Deion Sanders in just a few moments, but first, power remains out across the heart of Georgetown tonight after an underground fire blew out another manhole cover. For residents and business owners, it's deja vu. In February, there was an explosion on the same street. It also damaged several buildings there. 9 Eyewitness News reporter Dave Statter is live on the scene at M Street. Dave?
We're at 3033 M Street, Jennifer. This is the Fino Italian restaurant, one of many restaurants and other businesses shut down on what's normally a busy Sunday. The power failure extends on M Street almost up to Wisconsin Avenue in that direction and almost to 27th Street. Across the street, there's the problem. Pepco continues to work on 6 feeder lines. They're hoping to get some power up soon. They don't call it an explosion. They say the manhole cover popped this morning, but they do know here at Pepco that the cable was on fire, and they have, again, a major problem. Channel 9's Bruce LeShan was here earlier in the day.
You don't know which one's going to blow next.
Smoke was still wafting from the M Street manhole more than an hour after firefighters arrived. The heat and smoke made it tough for crews to even get in and figure out what went wrong. Pepco says a 4,000-volt line went down first, then 3 13,000-volt lines. Pepco finally shut down power to more than 1,000 customers to keep the fire from spreading.
Everyone's concerned, including us.
The blaze is eerily reminiscent of an explosion in the same block on a rainy day in February that blew off manhole covers and shattered windows in several Georgetown buildings. Months of recriminations between Pepco and Washington Gas followed that blast. But Pepco insists that there's no connection between the two.
We would hope that you wouldn't have a second time, that Pepco would get a hold of the situation and find some solutions.
Pepco says it is taking this very seriously. Even the CEO has been notified. Nonetheless, the company says there is no way it can guarantee that this won't happen again.
I don't think we can ever get down to zero. It's unrealistic when you have an electric system as large as what Pepco's system is, as many, thousands of miles of underground cables. It's like any other industry. Everything will fail at times.
The blast left Georgetown business people fuming. Pottery Barn manager Laura McDougall fears the next explosion will take out her windows and hurt someone. It's already costing her store plenty. Sunday a big day for you?
Absolutely.
This is one of your #1 sales days.
Prime days.
You're losing money as we speak.
Oh, yes.
Make you mad?
Absolutely.
The Prime Minister of Jordan must have noticed power was out at the swanky Four Seasons Hotel. But guests say the staff at Washington's most expensive address did its best to cope.
No problem.
Not a problem.
You don't mind doing without electricity if you're at the Four
Breakfast
Seasons?
in our rooms. They brought it right up. Fabulous. Not a glitch.
In Georgetown, Bruce LeShan, 9 Eyewitness News.
We're waiting to see the traffic signal come back on at 30th and M, and that will indicate to us, according to Pepco, that all of the power should be back on in the Georgetown area. Even though 3 feeders will not be repaired, they say those feeders are redundant. Now, what happened here? Pepco only can tell us that the cable caught on fire. It could have been a rat, believe it or not, biting into the cable. It could have been something else to cause the fire. If you remember back in February, a report by Pepco indicated the Washington Gas caused the problem when they were probing for a gas leak, something the Washington Gas Company has denied. In fact, as Bruce reported, both of those utilities have been fighting over this issue. Washington Gas was not mentioned today as a possibility in the cause here, but it is under investigation. Back to you at Broadcast House, Jennifer.
Again, Dave, they're saying 6:30-ish, right? So any moment now?
Any moment now. We were hoping to see some lights back on by the time we started this broadcast, but if it happens before the end of our newscast, we'll let you know so you can get the word out.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dave. Scatter reporting live in Georgetown. The other big story tonight, Deion Sanders spends his Sunday in D.C., but will he sign with the Skins? The 9 Eyewitness Sports Department caught up with him today. Ken Meese is here now with more. Will we get him?
If you were a betting person, I think the signs are pointing to the fact that erstwhile Dallas Cowboys quarterback Deion Sanders might be a Redskin early this next week. Meetings and negotiations took place yesterday. Redskin Park folks are expecting it to happen, and Deion was making himself at home today. He met with Skins owner Daniel Snyder and Darrell Green last evening. It obviously went well. Multi-year contract with an $8 million signing bonus is what we're hearing. Deion stayed over and went to church with his family today, Greater Mount Calvary Holy Church in Northeast. Jess Atkinson met him there and found out it's easier to ask Deion questions than it is to get answers.
How did it go last night with Dan and Darrell?
Dan is good. Dan is a good man. Very good man. Wants to win and wants to win it all. Right.
How about Darrell?
Darrell, if I had to choose a role model, which I don't believe in because they're really models playing roles, Darrell would be that person. He's a wonderful man of God and a wonderful athlete.
And Darrell apparently is willing to, step out of the starting position to make room for him. Coming up in sports, more of Jess's interview with Deion. The Kemper Open champion is in the Kemper Open mold. We'll have that, the Mystics and Orioles, all just ahead.
Okay, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Thanks a lot, Ken. 4 apartment buildings are destroyed. A huge fire broke out early this morning in Herndon. Fairfax County Fire says that it ripped through the buildings, which were still under construction. But investigators still can't figure out why it happened. It was a big fire, 5 alarms, and it took more than 100 firefighters to put it out. It started in one of the Woodland Park apartment buildings and was fueled by all the dry wood, so it spread very quickly. 2 of the apartment buildings, which were nearly complete, were burned to the ground. 2 others sustained heavy damage. Total losses are being estimated tonight at $3 million, but no injuries have been reported. In Oxon Hill, fire destroyed their church yesterday, but that did not stop the congregation from holding Sunday service today. More than half of the New Image Baptist Church members worshiped at a youth community center. It will be some time before they can enjoy their own church again. A driver crashed into the front of the building in the 3200 block of Brinkley Road, sparking yesterday's fire. The pastor's daughter says the congregation remains hopeful that they will be able to rebuild.
I know that God is going to so bless this ministry that it's just going to be so marvelous that every onlooker is going to know that it was the hand of God that is in the blessing, because what he's going to restore to New Image is going to be far more than what they had.
If you would like to help with donations, they are being accepted at any Farmers Bank in Maryland, and there's an account number I can give you. It is 860-866-001. It's a good day to spend some time outside. Really a great weekend. Will tomorrow bring you any kind of changes, possibly an umbrella? Meteorologist Steve Rudin is out on the weather terrace with some more.
Yeah, make sure you have your umbrella ready for tomorrow, Jen. We're going to see rain showers across the area, maybe even a thunderstorm late in the day, even into Tuesday. So I hope you enjoyed this past weekend. Take a look at what's going on outside at this hour. Radar and satellite in motion showing heavier shower activity well to the south of us. A few scattered showers to the north, but really no precipitation to speak of across our immediate area. Just the clouds that are coming in from the east. Quick look at a time lapse for you, showing low-level clouds across most of the area, allowing peaks of sunshine throughout the afternoon hours. Right now, the temperature is 73 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. By 9 o'clock this evening, we'll look for temperatures hovering in the 60s, and by midnight, temperatures just near 60 degrees. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the local zone forecast and the extended 7-day outlook that shows more summer-like temperatures and more sunshine heading our way toward the end of the upcoming work week. Jennifer, back to you at the news desk.
Okay, thanks a lot, Steve. D.C. police have yet another murder investigation on their hands. When Eyewitness News returns, we'll have more on the district's 3rd fatal shooting of the weekend. Plus, a concert is getting underway to help raise money to find the killer of 8-year-old Kevin Shiflett. More on that when Eyewitness News at 6:30 returns.
Came from nowhere, baptized today on the hot sands of Daytona, where a mile measures the length of your nerve. They call these giants 300.
4 decades later, their fuel-injected descendant has arrived.
She's got some real fire in her belly.
Chrysler 300M, the most powerful sports sedan in its class.
I reckon a fella can get used to winning in this car.
Buy now and get 0.9 financing. That's less than 1%.
Gordon Peterson. For 31 years, he's covered the Washington region like no one else. He's been there when it counted. From Watergate, through the Gulf War, to today's top story.
They figure anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 protesters here.
He's covered 7 presidential races. Every day, he delivers coverage you can trust. With experience that counts when it matters most. Gordon Peterson. Weeknights on 9 Eyewitness News, where local news comes first.
AMCO offers lifetime warranties at more than 700 locations, so a name you can trust is never far away. AMCO, AAMCO.
There's more than one way to eat fried chicken.
West. Police in Spotsylvania County say that they will be out in force tomorrow morning after an 11-year-old girl said that a man abducted her on her way to the school bus stop on Thursday morning. She told police the man pulled her into his truck and then sped away, but eventually she was able to escape from the vehicle and hide in the woods. The alleged suspect got away. The report has the community, though, fearful because, as you saw, there are pictures there of 3 girls. They were abducted and murdered in that area over the past 4 years, and police say that they may be dealing with a serial killer. Reward money keeps mounting in the Kevin Shiflett murder case. It officially climbs to $100,000 with a benefit concert tonight in honor of the 8-year-old Alexandria boy. In his Delray neighborhood, the community is also reaching out to help some other children there. The Birchmere is hosting a memorial concert tonight for Kevin and reminding everyone that his killer is still out there. Kevin was stabbed to death 6 weeks ago in the middle of the afternoon in front of his great-grandmother's home in Delray. Concert organizers and volunteers hope the $100,000 reward will encourage someone to come forward with information and also help children in Kevin's honor.
Now we're going to, the committee and the board is going to meet and decide. Hopefully the rest of the money will go back into the community. Well, not hopefully, but the money will go back into the community and maybe the police boys camp or whatever, and it'll all be in Kevin's memorial.
Families will be admitted on a first-come, first-served basis. The concert is expected to start around 9 o'clock this evening, and it features a famous performer who will remain a surprise. Still ahead, will it be rainy on Monday? I hope not. Meteorologist Steve Rudin is back in just a few moments with your full forecast.
There's a new treatment at Franciscan Children's Hospital in Boston. It's not a pill, but it's highly effective because it takes kids' minds off being there and puts their minds on everything else. Software donated by Microsoft is helping to keep kids